What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Eddy Live Show. We are doing our second remote edition. It's episode number 86, and we are here with Steff Liew. How you doing, Steff?
Hi, guys. I'm doing good.
It's kind of sucks that we had to do it remote, but once we get it going, I'll get you back in. We'll redo the show. We'll get some good food in you and chat some more. Yeah. How's it going? How's things for you? You're in Yonghe, right? Or Zhonghe?
Yonghe, yeah.
Yonghe. How's it going? Okay.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people on the roads, and the supermarkets are usually empty by 3, so it's kind of scary, actually.
Okay. How has your daily life changed since the level 3 lockdown?
Well, obviously we had to stop all of our work because we had to go to different places, and obviously that meant, it's a very risky thing. So
Sure.
Obviously now it's just working from home, so we're writing scripts most of the time. But for me, my daily life hasn't changed that much, because if I'm writing a script at home, it's just 7-Eleven, home, lunch, dinner, the end.
Hey, that sounds good. That's not bad. Yeah. Beautiful. So you're staying home most of the time, right? So what is it like? So you're writing scripts for, how's the process for you to start? Like, let's say you came here, I think it was about a month ago, right? I think it was a month. Time kind of flies.
I think it was more than that.
Oh, sorry. So yeah. So it's been let's say 2 months. You came here, you guys showed up with no notice, and you're just like, hey, we're gonna do a video. And we're like, wow, that's awesome. And you were telling me that you had been here a few times before because you grew up in Tianmu, right? Is that true? Yeah. So how go ahead, please.
So actually I've been in Tianmu for 10 years, roughly 10 years.
Okay.
So that's when, I think it was at a small alley. That was when Eddy's Cantina, I remember.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And the first thing I tried out was enchiladas. I was like, whoa, this is mind blowing. Like, I've never had anything this good. And
awesome.
then from that day onwards, I think I went at least once a week with my mom.
Okay.
Yeah. And my mom got really sick of it at one point. So she
really?
was like, you have to do something else, because we literally were there like every week.
That's awesome. It's funny because we eat here a lot, right? And my daughter, she never wants to eat anywhere else. I'm like, let's go get a burger or something. She's like, no, I want fish tacos and enchiladas. And I'm like, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is good. I could eat it for the rest of my life, But.
Awesome. Well, please do. Yeah. So now that you're kind of, we're not really locked down, but you're kind of like, everyone's encouraged to stay home. And you say your life hasn't really changed, but what about food wise? What are you doing for eats? Are you cooking or what's up?
Yeah, I've been cooking quite often recently, but I did that for a while I was, working at home, previously, but I got tired of it, mostly because I'm just too lazy to do the dishes.
Yeah, that's the worst part, right? Totally.
Yeah, that's the worst part. I love cooking, but I don't like washing.
Do you have any dishes that are you got to try this is my specialty dish? You got a dish that you
I think it's mostly Singaporean dishes, because I'm actually Singaporean. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. My mom cooks really good, Singaporean food and Taiwanese food as well, like Hakka in general. So
what are some awesome, we know that chicken, that cold chicken, right? That Singaporean I don't know the names of anything, but I love that. I love Singaporean food. Is there there's a lot of seafood, right? Like crab, sort of spicy stuff, right? Yeah. So what are some of typical Singaporean dishes that are awesome? In your opinion, when you go back, you gotta try
chicken
it.
Rice is definitely a must.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
And if it's Malay, probably nasi lemak.
Okay.
Have you heard of that before?
I've heard of it, but I don't know that much about that style of food. So is there anything around here that's good, like that I can go and try and be like, yeah, that's the place to try if you're looking for some Malaysian food?
Oh, there is a shop in Gongguan. I'm not really sure. I don't remember the name of the shop, but you could Google it, I guess, because I think that's the only one that's available in Gongguan. Yeah, it's really good. Pretty authentic.
That sounds good. So you were saying you were in Tianmu, right? Let's go back to the beginning a little bit. You were in Tianmu, right? And so what were you doing in Tianmu? You were living here for 10 years, you said? Okay.
Yeah, when I first moved back to Taiwan, I stayed at Tianmu because my brother was at TAS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I attended a year of a Taiwanese private school because I was waiting in line, since it is kind of hard to get into that school.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, I actually went to European school. So I was in European school for 2 years, and then I went to TA. Yeah.
Okay. And all that time you lived in Tianmu, yeah? And you were coming to Eddy's Cantina. Yeah.
Yeah, I moved around Tianmu quite often because my family did real estate business.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And so you were born and raised, I guess, in Singapore, you're saying, or?
Yeah, born and raised in Singapore, but I moved around after 3rd grade. So I was in Canada for a while, and I came back to Taiwan.
Nice. Where in Canada?
Originally we were in Vancouver, but we moved to Toronto after the school started, and after a year we came back because it was too cold.
Okay, yeah, you know what? It's one of the things that I do not miss from Canada. So I'm from Canada, right? I'm from BC as well, and Vancouver, like compared to where I live, Vancouver's warm, so it's kind of crazy. When we go back for a visit, and I go like we're about, I'd say, driving about 4 hours from Alaska. So when we go, it's like summer's really nice. It's like 28 Celsius. It's nice. But winter's, I mean, it's nice for Christmas because it's all snowy. It's really nice looking, but actually being and shoveling the snow and stuff, it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
And when the snow starts to melt, it's disgusting too. Like the pavements become really dirty.
It's crazy.
Right?
You know, the first time my wife saw snow, like I brought her there, I'd say maybe 15 or so years ago. Like the first time we were there, it starts snowing. You know, we were just engaged, and I brought her to meet the family, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's snowing!" She's so excited, and I just grabbed the shovel. I'm like, "Here you go." And she's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Look at the driveway. It's like this already." And she's like, "Okay." So we went, and then like halfway down the driveway, she's like, "This kind of sucks." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you know, so let's keep going." So we finished the driveway, and then she's like, "Okay, cool. You know, we can go back inside and chill, right?" I'm like, "No. Yeah. Turn around, look at the driveway." And it's like this much snow again because it just keeps snowing, right? I'm like, "No, we got to do it one more time or it's going to be super heavy later." So she was kind of like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah. So I haven't been back since for a winter because, you know, I came here, tropical island, you know, it's a little bit hot, but I like that. I'll take hot over colds.
Really?
Yeah. I love hot. I mean, 40 Celsius over -40 any day of the week for me. What about you?
It's kind of hard because I was born in Singapore, so I'm kind of used to the heat, but I don't like it because it's humid.
Okay.
That's really hard.
Yeah. How's the temperature compared to Taiwan? Is it hotter there in Singapore, or is it about the same? Really?
It's super hot and it's really humid too. But I mean, it's not as humid as Taiwan, so it's kind of different in a way. Yeah.
Taiwan's weird because I mean, you can go out even if it's not that hot, you're kind of like wet. You're just like, yeah.
Yeah, you just feel sticky all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I want to ask you, how did you get started with the Spice Travel channel? I mean, since you guys came here, I've been watching the channel and it's amazing. It's really good. The videography is really good. I mean, I didn't know you were writing the scripts and stuff. That's really good. I mean, how did you get started with that project? That's such a cool project.
Well, technically, I just entered this company last year, actually, because the previous host was a friend of mine, and she ended up going to the UK for her studies. So she actually asked me, she was like, "Hey, I know you're into like, you know, videos and stuff," because I was previously at a car company filming, you know, videos as well.
Really?
So she was like, "Hey, do you want to be a hostess?" So I was like, "Sure, I'll give my shot," and I got in.
Okay, that's cool. And so you've been with them for a year, yeah?
Well, now it's been
or
close to a year.
Okay. So how do you find like content? Because I think a lot of people that'll be watching would be, I mean, sort of maybe they want to be influencers or YouTubers or something. How do you go about finding like content for, like, for example, you came here because you were here before, but I mean, you guys do videos like, I'd say almost every week, right? Like there's a lot of videos in there, right? So how do you find content for something like that?
Well, usually we have, well, our channel itself, we have a goal that is to find places that most people actually don't know about.
Okay.
So, I mean, if we have that main goal, it's kind of easier to look for, you know, it's just basically you have to kind of avoid everything that most people know.
Like Sun Moon Lake or whatever. I mean, everybody's been there. So yeah. Okay,
basically everything that you've heard of.
Okay.
You're trying to avoid that. And obviously every single host has their own way of searching. Personally for me, I look through Instagram hashtags, Google Maps. Literally, I'll be clicking on like different areas and, you know, virtually walking through the streets.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. That's really cool.
That's how I find like really cool small spots.
Have you found any like hidden gems that you think, oh my gosh, this is like something that comes to your mind right now that's like, this is going to be amazing. Like something like, I don't know, some hidden waterfall in a mountain or something somewhere. Like,
yes, we actually have a few of those, but that's the thing. It's actually kind of hard to get there as well. Because obviously we have to take into account the fact that we actually have to take all of our equipment and ourselves there. So sometimes it takes like 4 hours walk or 5 hours. So that's kind of a tough issue as well. Yeah.
So it's not as glamorous as everybody assumes, right? You're just kind of like walking around, selfies in a waterfall, right?
Yeah, that's not how it is. Usually we actually wake up around like 4 or 5 a.m. because we're trying to get to the sunrise and or the sunset. So technically we'd be working usually more than 10 or 12 hours.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's a long day. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially like for food, actually that day I think I ate at 3 different restaurants within a 4-hour period. So
wow.
That was really filling.
So how do you keep in good shape then if you're eating all these meals in a day?
So when I don't work, I usually try to cook and work out.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. So with spice travel, I mean, is there a lot of emphasis on spicy food or do you guys try to get sort of things like that or?
No, not really.
Okay.
But I guess spice itself for me, I'm not sure what my boss initially intended. But for me, it's just like, we're very straightforward. So if it's good or if it's bad, we're being really authentic about it. Like we're actually telling people, oh, this thing is actually worth going, or we think, you might want to reconsider.
Okay. I think like I've actually been watching a lot of the videos since you guys have come and first of all, it's a huge channel and it's really well done. And usually when a YouTuber comes in and they're like, hey, we got a channel. I'm like, cool. Let's, whatever you guys need. And then, you guys came in and then I saw the channel. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a huge channel. Wow. So it's really, it's really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
We actually called beforehand. I don't think we got the message though, but.
Okay. Well, sorry. Sometimes things get, so what happens a lot is when you own a restaurant, and your name is the restaurant basically, you get calls and like messages and stuff all the time. And everybody's like, hey, I know Eddy, I want a discount or tell Eddy, I'm here, and it's always just like, oh, I know this, I know that. And then like for the first long time, I would kind of like rush over and then like, but sometimes I'm just like, whoa, I'm like lost. Even if it's like somebody that I really have known for a while, sometimes I'll come in and I'll just have like a crazy day and I come in and it's like blank. I'm like, I know this face, but yeah. How's it going?
Totally understandable.
Yeah, I bet you guys. So, I mean, how are you liking it? I mean, I would imagine that it's kind of like a great job. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I would say it's sort of like a dream job in a way, but obviously there's always, struggles in between. But overall, I think I still really like it as a job. So.
Is there any like, sort of things you can kind of spin off, or I think somebody like you would have a great time kind of doing like your own Instagram channel or your own sort of YouTube channel. Is that allowed? Are you able to spin off and do your own thing on certain things, or how's that work?
Yeah. Because we don't really have a contract that binds us to our company.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically we're allowed to do whatever we want. We're allowed to take cases outside as well. Personally, recently I've started my own channel, but I haven't gotten a theme. So it's just kind of like random stuff that I'm trying out and seeing what, my audience likes. So.
Okay. It's a YouTube channel? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel. Just go for my name, Steff.
Okay, cool. So I will give me the link for that. And in the description below, I'll definitely share that. And we'll see if people can help you check it out. Yeah. So I'm curious now about your own channel. So how different is it doing sort of your own channel or working with sort of an established channel? Like what's the difference for you?
For me and my own channel, I guess I get more freedom because obviously there's no specific theme right now, and it's basically about me. And yeah, I guess it's because Spice Travel requires me to travel quite often. So I kind of want to take a break from, actually shooting outdoors that often. So now I guess I'm mostly doing studio stuff. It's more of what I'm, aiming for as well.
Okay. So like when you say studio stuff, that means you're kind of like filming indoors, doing that kind of thing with like green screens or okay. Do you have like a little studio at home or? How does that work?
Well, I have a little setup in the corner, but it's not like a studio.
That's awesome. That's how everybody starts, right?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah. When I started the podcast, I had like this old GoPro and like these old karaoke mics. And I'm like, yeah, that's not bad, you know? And then I'm like, yeah, it sounds really good. And now when I go back and listen to it, I'm like, oh, wow, it's so bad. Yeah. But
well, you got to start somewhere, right?
You got to start somewhere for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So the plan with that is to explode that, hopefully. Yeah. I mean, are you able, are you doing like an Instagram channel, sort of Instagram stuff with that as well, or?
Not for now, because it does take time to kind of edit and like, you know, change format, because Instagram is kind of different from YouTube. Yeah. And personally right now I do have an editor, but I still edit the first rough copy. So yeah, it does take time, you know, planning my personal channel and Spice Travel's channel and shooting, you know, trying to like, you know, make sure the schedule goes right. So yeah, it's a bit hectic, but you know, getting through.
I mean, that's, yeah. I think, is there a place that you've gone to on Spice Travel where you had something to eat, or you've had like sort of like a restaurant experience or any kind of experience where you're just like, wow, this is amazing. Like you've kind of been blown away or something like that by the food. Have you had that kind of a feeling?
Well, good experiences. Yes, definitely. You know, like Eddy's Cantina, obviously.
Of course,
I love the food. Yeah. But I think what really made an impression, well, not really an impression, but what really was a huge memory, I guess, was that when I went to a sushi shop, they had the most disgusting fish I've ever had in my life. I'm thinking of like a way to make this not as bad. But because there was scales on it, there was bones, and it was sushi. So technically you're not supposed to have that.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Do you have like any stories of like kind of behind the scenes where you had kind of a really good or really bad experience? Maybe that's that story where you kind of went in and you're kind of picking up. Do you have any kind of like behind the scenes stories that you want to share maybe, or?
Behind the scenes, I guess we have a lot of like funny moments, because obviously whenever we choose a location, we don't actually go there first. So when we get there, we usually have to, you know, kind of explore a bit and then see how we're going to go about this. And I think well, there's always something funny that's going to happen eventually. Like one of my coworkers or myself, we would, you know, accidentally slip somewhere, or like, you know, it might look completely different from what we originally expected. So we have to still kind of tell our audiences like, hey, like we're here, but you know, it might not be what you're expecting.
Okay.
So that happens quite often.
So people are slipping all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, we're always either in mountains or like in the sea. So
that's hilarious. Yeah. What about do you have like any kind of production? Like, so you're doing the production for your own channel right now? Like, you would say, as opposed to like Spice Travel it's amazing. It's looking fantastic. So what are the differences do you have? Like now you said you're doing like editing and stuff yourself, right? Kind of. Yeah. So how does that compare? Like when you kind of have a whole team behind you as opposed to like yourself?
I think it's kind of like a different pressure, because like when you have a team, obviously you have to consider other people's opinions as well, because it isn't just me in that video, and we're kind of representing a company. But for me personally, if I'm the only one, it's like a different pressure. Like I have to maintain my own image and my own personality, but
love it.
Obviously I don't have anyone to, you know, discuss with. So basically it's all in my head, and basically it's what I think.
So what goes into the process of creating a show? Let's say for you or for Spice, like what goes into that process? Like for you, maybe you could describe a little bit of the process of how it goes.
Well, for Spice Travel, because I wasn't there at the very beginning, I'm sure like, you know, my boss and like the previous coworkers, they had a discussion. So everyone had a consensus of what the theme should be. But for me personally, right now, I'm not really sure, because my personality is very, I guess, well-versed, you could say, because I like everything. Like I could be staying at home the whole day, but I could be outdoors, like, you know, for a whole month as well. So I guess because of the amount of things that I am interested in, it's kind of hard for me to try to focus on one thing. And obviously I need to know, like, you know, what my audiences like most. So that would probably be more of the direction I would be going towards.
That's beautiful. Do you have any like influencers or YouTubers out there that you I don't want to say idolize, but you kind of look up to? You think that they're doing a great job?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I like Liu. I'm not sure if you know, she's recently quite famous as well on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like the humor. So
okay.
Yeah.
Do you watch a lot of YouTube in English or in Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, or everything? Mix it all up?
Everything, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually like watching YouTubers from different countries as well, like in Spain or in India. Like, it's amazing how like every country has like a different theme. Like, it's actually, you can see the culture difference. Yeah. That's what fun. I would say.
I think that's good. Sometimes when I have editors sort of checking out my editing my videos, I'll be like, yeah, just go for it. Just take it and spice it up, do whatever you want to do. And then it's like the sound effects, and it's really like, it's funny that the Taiwanese ones are just like, whoa. And it's actually, I've been here for so long, I actually like it now. It's pretty funny. Yeah. It's something that maybe when I came here, like almost 20 years ago, I'd be like, what is that? And now I'm like, hey, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I love the
it's
Taiwanese
like when you
style.
watch Taiwanese TV shows, like, there's like a certain sound effect that goes with every emotion.
Always. It's funny because when I came here, Mexico has something similar to that, a little bit different humor, but it's similar, like the sound effects, and it's pretty crazy. And Canada doesn't have anything like that. So when I came here, I didn't really have much of a culture shock because, I came here and there was like you got spicy food and then night markets and everybody eats out late. And so I don't know, Taiwan's a pretty awesome place. So I've been here for a long time, and I actually feel more at home here than Canada or Mexico, if you can believe it. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Oh, really? Wait,
Yeah,
so how long have you been in Taiwan?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna date myself here. I've been here for about I would say about 18 years. Yeah, a long time. Yeah. And we did the restaurant for about I'd say it's closing in on 15 years. Yeah. So something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe 14.
Well, you're probably more Taiwanese than I am.
It's kind of crazy, because sometimes I don't know, when I'm outside and it's all Taiwanese people, I'm pretty comfortable. And it's funny when I go back to Canada, when I brought my wife back a few times, you go into like my Mandarin is okay. It's pretty decent, but it's still to the point where I can kind of tune it out and do my thing. So I'm used to that. I've been here for so long. But the last time I went to Canada, we were in Vancouver, we were at the food court, and, we're eating, and, there's all these tables full of people, everyone's speaking English. And it's like, because I'm here, like my ears, when they hear English, it's just like, it just zooms in on everything. Right. So I'm listening to I'm talking to my wife, and there's like 5 conversations going on around me. And like, my ear is like zooming into all of them. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And it's just like, one guy's like, oh, I'm so unhappy with my job and my life and my wife. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm kind of like, oh. And it's just like, everybody's like gossiping, and it's all this crazy stuff. And if that was in Chinese, I could tune it out. But if it's in English, it was just like, it was like so bombarding that I was like, oh my gosh, we need to get out of the food court because my head's going to explode. It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
I guess it's like when you're in different countries and like, you've been used to being into like 2 different languages, I guess it's kind of like an issue as well. Yeah.
For sure. Like when we go to Mexico to visit family, I mean, I was raised speaking Spanish. So when we go back, it's hard to, it's not, I wouldn't say I can't tune out the Spanish, but I can still, semi tune it out. English is impossible, but Spanish is kind of, you can semi kind of tune it out. Chinese, you can kind of tune it out. But yeah, when English is flying all over the place, it's really like my brain is like overloaded, and I couldn't. I was just like, wow, what are we doing here? We need to find a quiet space. It was a bit crazy experience. Yeah. Because here you're kind of like, you can be doing your own thing and no one will bug you, and you're just kind of like in your own world. You're eating your roll mian or something at like a booth, and you're just doing your thing. But it's crazy. It's a crazy thing to be like in a completely different culture. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. And for totally doing it for so long. What about you? I guess you've gone back to Singapore many times, right? It's not so far from here. So how does it compare, sort of the lifestyle in Singapore compared to here for you?
Well, to be honest, I think the food is not that different, except, Singapore's food is definitely a lot spicier than Taiwanese food. And, there's a lot of spices and stuff. But if it's just daily life wise, I think Taiwan is just more convenient, probably because of the amount of 7-Elevens we have. Yeah.
It's really crazy. It's crazy, man. Like when I came here, the first time I went into a 7-Eleven, I didn't know what to get, but the first thing you get is like that big tea egg smell. So I went in, I was like, whoa, what is that smell? And I'm like walking around trying to find it. I'm like, it's these eggs. What's going on? And I was kind of like, I was lost. And so I was like, okay, so, hot dogs, right? So I went over, I'm like, I'm just going to grab a 7-Eleven hot dog. And I grabbed one, and it's pretty bad. Like I was like, wow, the hot dog is so bad. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So what am I doing here? But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. That was kind of like the only culture shock I had was like a 7-Eleven hot dog. So I guess that's not so bad, right?
Have you ever seen someone eat betel nut in Taiwan?
Oh yeah, for sure. Of course. Yeah. I've been here for a while. When I came, I mean, Taipei City didn't have like the betel nut ban. So I used to have like the betel nut spit all over the place. And then you'd have the booths with the girls selling the betel nut. Right. Yeah. And so every time I'd go by, I'm like, what are these guys selling? You know, like what's going on here? Because it's like, yeah. And I tell my friends, I'm like, what's going on here? So it was funny. My first, it's not really Taiwanese, but I think I landed, I was working at a school. They put us in an apartment, and my roommates, you know, they're like, hey, let's go out for dinner. You just arrived. I said, this is great. Let's go. And so we start walking, and they're like, okay, we're going to go to McDonald's. And I'm like, come on, guys, I just landed. I don't want McDonald's. So I looked over and I saw like a big shabu shabu, right? I'm looking at this shabu shabu, and I'm like, what's that? And they're like, oh, it's not good. And I'm like, no, let's go. It's my treat. Let's go in. So we went in. No one spoke any Chinese, right? So we go in. Those guys have been here for a couple of years, and they spoke like zero, right? So we went in there. Yeah, I'm like, come on, guys, you know. So we went in, and you know, I'm just like, you know, 4 and whatever, and we sit down. And hot pot, I love hot pot, by the way. So hot pot is like, now that I know, it's all about the sauce, right? Like garlic and spice and all like the heavy duty, like the sauce is incredible. So we order beef and chicken or whatever, and nobody knows about the sauce. No one speaks Chinese. So we got this hot pot with like no sauce, and we're eating it. You know, we're kind of just like, I'm like, wow, it's kind of bland, you know? And they're just like, oh, I told you it's not good, you know? So for years I didn't eat hot pot. And then when I started hanging out with Taiwanese people, they're like, oh, we go for hot pot. I'm like, it's not, you know, I had it before. I didn't really like it. And then when I actually went with Taiwanese people and they're telling you how to make the sauces and stuff, I eat hot pot like every week now. I love it. So hot pot's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Do you have any favorite dishes over here? Like what's your favorite food for you? Let's say top 5 favorite foods for you.
Oh man, that's hard. I mean, everything in Taiwan tastes good.
You said you like everything, right? So let's say any kind of food, 5 foods, like right now. What do you think? Good foods.
Like Taiwanese foods?
Could be any food. Any food.
Oh, any food.
Any food. That's even tougher. Yeah.
Yeah, that's even tougher.
Yeah.
I'm actually more of like a Western dish kind of girl. Mm-hmm. So I love spaghetti. Like I love Italian food.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. That's nice.
I love Mexican food as well.
We got it. We got that. Yeah. Italian, Mexican.
Yeah, Italian, Mexican, American. It's like all the time.
Awesome. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? It's so hard to. Yeah. It's funny. You know, keep going. You got 2 more.
2 more. Let me think. Yeah. I guess omakase, like Japanese, you know, sushi. That's fine dining.
I love Japanese. We went to, where did we go? We went to Okinawa, and we saw this old guy kind of selling this beef on a stick. And I'm like, okay, I ordered it, and it took like 20 minutes for him to grill a skewer. And it turned out to be like Wagyu beef. And I'm like, I want to try that. So I got it, and I was just like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, let's get 3 more. He's like, that's going to be like 30 minutes. I'm like, dude, take your time. That's fantastic. I was just like looking at it. I was like, what is this? It's so good. I love Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Korean food too, because it's usually spicy.
Spicy, right? Yeah. So. Have you been out to Korea?
Yeah, I have. I've been to Seoul and Busan.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, nice. What did you think of Korea?
It's really different, like Seoul and Busan.
Yeah.
Because I was in Busan actually because of a friend. She was getting married. And I remember we were there for like 5 days, and we ate seafood literally every meal.
Ooh. And
it was really cheap too, and it was
that's
good.
Crazy. Okay, nice.
So we had a lot of crab and stuff like that. Yeah.
How do you feel like the Korean culture maybe compared to Taiwanese? Like Taiwan's always famous for like the warmth of the people, right? So when I came here, like I've been here for a long time, you know, I speak the language and stuff, and it's very like people are so welcoming, and you know, of course they say, you know, Uyghur sometimes, but you know, when you speak Chinese to them and everybody's like, oh my God, you're like Taiwanese, but I love that feeling. It's amazing. When I went to Korea, a friend of mine, he came with us and he'd been there for a long time, and you know, he came here for a while, and he's like, look, we landed on the airplane and I'm like excited, and he told me, look, I know in Taiwan, you know, you're Eddy and you speak Chinese and everybody loves you and blah, blah, blah. In Korea, nobody wants to talk to you. So don't talk to people. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares what you think. So, and he was just like blasting me. I was like, geez, man, really? Is it that bad? He's like, it's not great. And I went, and actually there were some people that it was definitely different than Taiwan, but I mean, I was kind of like, whoa, I was caught off guard a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the food. Yeah, there was a lot of the food was great. I'm also a big food person. So when we travel, I mean, if we're going for 3 days, I'll be like, okay, 3 days. Okay, that's at least like 9 meals. All right, I gotta have this. I gotta have this. I gotta have this. Yeah. So Korea, how about for you as an Asian going to Korea? Did you have a good experience, or how did that work out for you?
Yeah, it was a pretty good experience for me, and it wasn't that bad because we had a Korean friend with us. So I guess, you know, probably because of that.
Cool. One of my Korean friends that I told when I came back, they're like, oh yeah, it's because you have short hair, so they just assume you're like some army guy and you're there just like killing time and blah blah blah. I was like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense now. Yeah. But it was good. It was a great place. I had amazing food, had amazing experience. Haven't had a chance to go back. It was like December, so it did snow. So it was kind of, it was cool, but I was kind of like, oh my gosh, I didn't want to see snow anymore. But it was just a little bit, so it was okay. It was okay. Yeah.
Did you have like the raw crab and raw shrimp?
I didn't have that. I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah. So that's what we should get next time. Yeah? Okay. Beautiful. What about Japan? Have you been to Japan, Okinawa, those kind of places? Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to Japan quite a few times actually, because my dad's
any tips? There, so. Any tips on Japan? Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot to eat in Japan.
I bet it's one of the best. Yeah.
Yeah. Every state's kind of different in Japan as well. Like, you know, it's known for different things. Like some places are known for Kobe beef, which is
oh my God, that's so good. That's so good. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And like teppanyaki. Some places are really well known for desserts as well. Yep. I remember Bill's was really good. Yeah. Even though I think they had like a, you know, similar shop in Taiwan, but you know, the original is always the best.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And what's the famous one that's in Taiwan now? That ramen place. It's super good. Shoot, I can't remember the name. Oh, I can't. Yeah, Ichiran or something like that.
Ichiran,
right? Yeah. That place is so good. Whenever I'm downtown, like we'll have all these Western options and stuff, and I love Western food, but it's always like, let's go to Ichiran. It's so good. I love it. Yeah, it's so good.
You know, in Taiwan, in Taiwan, Ichiran is actually a food that you eat after you get drunk because it's a bit too salty for our taste. Actually,
it's a little bit salty. So but I mean, it's pretty good, and it's 24 hours, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? It's 24 hours. That's fantastic. And you talk to the people and they say they're busy even at like 3 a.m., which is crazy.
Yeah. Because everyone goes clubbing and then afterwards they choose each round.
It's been a while since I've been clubbing. I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So right now, obviously we're in COVID, you know, level 3 lockdown. And do you guys have any plans to just keep rolling with videos, or is everything on hold right now?
Yeah, everything's on hold because, you know, obviously for our safety and everyone else's. So we're actually going to film, hopefully by June 15th.
Okay. Yeah. They just extended school, right? So my daughter has been doing homeschool for just over a week, and they finally got the Google Classroom thing set up today, and it's pretty cool, but it's kind of, I mean, it's like 25 kids doing this, right? So the first day was just like 30 kids on a screen, and there's a teacher's kind of like, wait, everybody turn your mics off, and kids are screaming and chatting. It was pretty funny. It's pretty funny to see. Yeah, but I think it'll get better. I think it'll get better.
Hopefully it will. Yeah.
So you've been doing the influencer thing for how long now? So just over a year, or just around a year, but have you done this stuff like that previously, or?
Yeah, I've actually been doing this for quite a while because I started acting. Yeah, I started acting when I was 16.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I was in commercials and I did TV shows. It was kind of different, I guess, back then. There was not, well, I mean, YouTube existed, but it wasn't that famous, Taiwan. So no one really did YouTube back then. Yeah, it wasn't until I was 21 when I started like going on TV shows more often. And then once I graduated, I went to, I started as a marketing executive, and then I went to a car company, which ended up being the hostess for 2 years. And then I switched to my current job. So yeah,
I want to ask you, you look pretty young. I'm not gonna lie. So I won't ask the age. You can't do it, but yeah, that's cool. I mean, do you have any tips for anybody that's kind of like coming up? They were kind of maybe you way back in the day, and you want to start maybe doing some acting or maybe getting to influencing and stuff like that. Do you have any tips for people that kind of want to do something like that? Anybody who's kind of coming up?
As cliche as it sounds, just never give up, I guess.
Okay.
Because like my family always told me, like I should be doing the, Asian route, I guess I would say, like go to a good college, with a good degree, and then, go to like a big company. But I've always liked acting and performing in general. So I always did it on the side. I guess I always did what I was supposed to do, but on the side, I would always hustle and, make sure that I would try to get any chance I could get. And eventually I did get my shot. So yeah,
I love
that. Just don't give up.
just don't give. I love it. I think that's a good way because, same thing for us. I mean, with this whole level 3 thing, we launched like our online system, and, it's full of bugs and stuff, and we're fixing all the mistakes and stuff. But I built that last year because I thought that COVID would hit Taiwan really badly. And so we got that thing built last year, and then nothing really happened. And so it's been sitting there at like 95% done for like a year. And now that it got crazy, like I planned on finishing it sort of this summer, but this is high season for us. And if I added a whole bunch more orders, it would have been too much for the kitchen. So I figured, okay, when it slows down in the summer, we'll finish that. And then of course, this whole mess happened. And so I called my developer. I'm like, look, we got to get it done. So how long do you need? He's like, all right, 3 days. I said, okay, 3 days, we're going to go live. And so all day, like working on it and messaging this guy, and it's kind of crazy, but I agree with you, man. I think you have to say, never give up. And that's beautiful.
Definitely.
I love it. Yeah. So last question, I guess, what would be your ultimate goal? If you could say, I got there, my ultimate goal, this is it. What is it?
My ultimate goal? Financial freedom, I guess.
Sure. Of course, everybody's financial freedom, right? But how are we going to get there? Like, how is Steff Liew? I said it right, hopefully. How are you going to get there? Like, what do you plan on using as your vehicle to get to your financial freedom? I mean, obviously,
I do. Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I do investing on the side. So.
Oh, nice. Okay. What kind?
Yeah, and
like crypto.
Not crypto yet. I'm still trying to get into it.
Okay.
But I'm doing, US stocks, Taiwan stocks.
Nice.
And
all right.
On the side, I actually own a co-working space as well with my friends.
What? Yeah. Geez. Okay. Where's that? I mean, send me a link. That's fantastic. Where's that at?
It's called Dreamers Co-working Space. It's at Zhongshan Guoxiao.
Okay. Okay. Beautiful. And so how long has that been going?
We opened up last August.
Yeah. How's it going? How's it going being a business owner?
It's going good. Yeah. After 3 months, it was pretty much stable. So we just kind of left it there.
Wow. Okay. That's good.
Kept on running it by itself. So it's good.
Hey, fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to thank you for coming on, doing this and sharing a lot of your knowledge. Once the level 3 thing is over, I would love to get you back in and feed you, and we'll do it proper, right? I just wanted to keep it going. I really wanted to chat with you, but yeah, we'll do it right once everything is all sorted out. But sure. Thank you for doing this for me, and
thank you for
send me the links, and I'll put them in the description, and we'll blast them out, and we'll see, we can get things going. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Do you have anything else you want to say before we cut it? What do you think?
No, just hopefully, everyone gets through this COVID thing safely, and just don't give up on your dreams.
Beautiful. So. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for checking out the show. Thank you for being with us, and we're definitely going to do this again, the right way. Much love.
All right, sure.
See you soon. Yeah.